As indie authors, when you are looking for marketing advice, usually on Facebook groups, but I see it online everywhere, people tell you to write the next book. They're like, write the next book. The best thing you can do to sell your books is to write more books. But there's a huge flaw in that logic, because if you don't know how to market the books you have already written, writing a new one is not going to make a difference. So, I was supposed to make YouTube videos every week for the month of January. 2 videos a week. That was my promise to myself, and I did not do it. Why did I not do it? Because I was off my ADHD meds. I take a break every year between the 24th of January and the 24th of December and the 1st of January. And I had like a bit of a kerfuffle with my doctor and ended up only getting my meds sorted on like the 7th of January or something, and then I had to readjust because the break that I took was a lot longer than I thought it would be. Here we are. Welcome. I'm Una. I am an indie author who is on a journey to become a full-time indie author. Today we're going to be talking about my goals for 2025 and specifically the system that I'm using to set up my goals. So if you've set goals or you are thinking about writing goals, stick around because you might benefit from the system that I'm using. Before we get into it, this is my most recent publication. It's called The House of the Wicked. It's a romantic suspense duet, book 1 in a duet. Book 2 is coming out soon. I'm very excited about it. I'm in the process of doing edits. They're taking really long to get through. But towards the end of last year, I was listening to a podcast called Pen to Paycheck. I will link them in the description below. And basically, Pen to Paycheck is a podcast that's run by 2 authors. They're both kind of starting out their journey, so they're not very well established yet. And I really appreciate that because I think we often hear from people who are already quite far down their publishing journey or who have already achieved a lot of success, and they're talking retrospectively. But I think there's so much value in talking about the journey when you're actually on it. That's what I'm doing. It's what they do. Anyway, one of the things I said in the podcast that really resonated with me was that often as indie authors, when you are looking for marketing advice, usually on Facebook groups, but I see it online everywhere, people tell you to write the next book. They're like, write the next book. The best thing you can do to sell your books is to write more books. But there's a huge flaw in that logic, because if you don't know how to market the books you have already written, writing a new one is not going to make a difference. So this year, I've set up my goals in a really different way. I obviously wasn't doing AuthorTube last year, so I don't have a video that I can reference to tell you what my goals were in 2024, but they were very focused on writing. There were some income goals, and there were some like platform growth goals, like I wanted to get to this number on Instagram. Some of them I made, some of them I didn't. This year, I'm making a big change. And I'll tell you, that shouldn't be in there. There are 3 different groups that I've split my goals into. Maker, marketer, and manager. Episode of the Pen to Paycheck podcast, they mentioned an article by Orna Ross, who is one of the founding members of ALLI, the Alliance for Independent Authors, and I'll link the blog post as well. But in this blog post, Orna talks about how in order to be a successful author, you really do have to treat your writing as a business. And in this business that you are trying to build, there are 3 sections. There is the maker, your creative side, your writing side, the books you're working on, your WIPs, your publishing schedule, the stories you plan to write. Then there's manager, yes, the worst part, income, looking for agents, foreign rights, creating audiobooks, building your website, increasing your online presence. And then there's marketer, and this is the part that a lot of indie authors struggle with, me included. Marketing is not something that's in my wheelhouse, but all 3 cogs in your author business machine work together. You write great books, you have to make sure people know about them. And then once you start making money, you have to ensure that you're managing that business well enough that it becomes sustainable. So my goal is obviously to be a full-time author. I will not be able to reach that goal if I don't focus on each and every single one of the cogs in this machine: maker, manager, marketer, okay? So I've set some pretty lofty goals for 2025. And I'll start with the maker goals. The first thing is that I am obviously launching book 2 in my duet, which is called The Snake and the Raven Duet. That is set to release in March. I was really, really fortunate last year to have an ARC team of just over 500 people, and I can talk more in a video about that. If you want to know how I reached that many ARCs, I can make a video about that. My goal for The House of the Damned is to obviously finish all my edits, get it to my editor, and lofty goal, double my ARC team, so 1,000 ARC readers. More realistic goal, add about 250 more people. Then I want to write a novella. The reason why is because I have an existing series called the Summer Fall series. It was the first series that I started. I made a huge mistake. Don't be like me. If you start a series as your debut, finish it. Don't write anything else until you finish that series, because I started writing book 1, Sabrina September is a Liar, in 2022, published it in 2023, wrote book 2, and I should have gone on to write book 3 and finished the series entirely before starting The House of the Wicked, but I didn't do that. So now I have this like year-long gap between writing in that world and this world, and I feel very removed from that story. So I thought a good way to pull myself back into that world would be to write a little novella. It can also help me build my mailing list, which is in the manager section of my goals. So I'm going to be obviously finishing the book 2 in my duet, increasing my ARC readers, plotting and writing a novella that I want to publish in July or June, and then plotting and writing the last book in the Summer Fall series so that that can be published towards the end of December. I also have a standalone romantic thriller that I have half plotted that I want to finish plotting. And then another secret project that I don't really want to talk about too much, but I'm very excited about it. I would like to have that fully plotted by the end of this year so that I can dive into writing early next year. I don't think I'm able to write more than 2 books a year. It takes me a really long time to write. Not that I'm a slow writer, but I'm an underwriter, so usually my first draft is lacking a lot of detail. So I end up going back and changing a lot, adding a lot. And I take my time. I don't rush because I just don't feel like I need to. So those are my writing goals. I have also set a daily writing goal where I would like to write 1,000 words a day at a minimum. I know that is going to look really different every day because I don't always have the time to write 1,000 words a day. My time for writing is usually on the weekends, and I'm able to, if I'm in the zone, write about 7,000 words a weekend, 7,000 words a day if I'm writing on the weekend. But those are my writing goals. Then on to marketing. I've already mentioned that I'd like to grow my ARC team to 1,000 members. I don't know how realistic that is. I feel like with the TikTok ban and everyone kind of scattered across so many different social media platforms right now, it's going to be really tough to reach readers. Whereas last year when I was advertising my ARCs for the House of the Wicked, everyone was really on Threads, and it worked out really well because I did the bulk of my advertising for my ARC team on Threads, and I got a really great response. So we shall see. We shall see. I am cautiously optimistic. Then my newsletter is currently at 509 subscribers. I would like to grow that to 1,000 by the end of the year. I'd like to get to 3,000 followers on Instagram. Like, I think that's realistic. I'm on 2,500, something like that right now. I would love to be like 10,000 followers. But I find growth on Instagram for me to be really, really slow. I don't really understand what that algorithm likes. I don't understand what inspires people to follow. So I'm going to be making that a huge priority this year to really figure out what to do on Instagram to grow my footprint there. Then obviously YouTube. I would like to reach 1,000 followers by the end of the year, and I think consistency on YouTube is the biggest thing. So for me, I'm just gonna focus on posting twice a week and sharing my channel everywhere I share everything else, and hopefully we can get to 1,000 followers by then. Then I last year commissioned my first piece of character art for the House of the Wicked, and I realized, and it's not really like a groundbreaking realization because I should have known this already, but character art is a golden tool when it comes to marketing your books. Readers really love to see characters brought to life. So this year I would like to commission more character art. And then like a pie in the sky marketing goal I have is that I would really like to, and I know that I can, will, and shall pay influencers to work with me, but I would really, really like an influencer to organically pick up my book and recommend it. It's something that I've always wanted, and I had literally put it on my list for 2025. I would like an influencer to recommend my books. Then I would like to reach 200 reviews or ratings on Goodreads for The House of the Dam before it comes out in March. I think this is realistic. I got to 150 before the release of The House of the Wicked, and I had aimed for 100, so I was really happy with that. Okay, then onto the manager business-ish income side of books. In order to be a full-time author, I need my books to generate a full-time salary. Lucky for me, I live outside of the US and the exchange rate is really favorable. So what might seem like a little money to people living in the US, to me is actually quite a lot. So I have a number in mind of what I would need to bring in as a steady monthly income. I'm not going to share it with you. But I've put that down as like wanting to reach that number by, I said June, but it's not about reaching that number for 1 month. I need to reach that number consistently every month, and that's going to take a lot of marketing. I did it at the end of 2023. I was using TikTok a lot to market my books, and I managed to get really close to the number that I put down here consistently for about 3 months, and then we moved, and that threw a total spanner in the works. So I know that this is realistic because I just need to market, but marketing is not easy. It's very hard. You have to be consistent, and you have to find the time to be consistent, and time is one thing that I don't have in spades. So, but okay, I said that. I don't have time in spades, but this is very important to me. So I'm going to find the time. I'm going to make the time. Okay, then I would, like I said, I wanted to reach 1,000 subscribers on YouTube so that I can monetize this account. I see YouTube potentially as another income stream if I manage to be consistent and grow a engaged following. I don't see why I cannot add this channel to my income goals. even though it's going to take a lot longer than a year to build it up. I'm putting it down. Then I would like to have 1 month where in 1 month I get 1 million page reads. I just want it. The other kind of crazy goal that I have for this year is that I would like an audiobook deal. I don't know how these things work, but I cannot produce an audiobook myself. It is way too expensive. I do not have ACX in the country that I live in. It's not offered here. So the only way that I would be able to produce or get audiobooks produced for my novels is if I got an audiobook deal. So I would really like to find a way to make that happen this year. And then the other goals that I have that is like a business goal is I would really like to be featured in a special edition book box. Again, I don't know how that happens, but I would really like that. So those are my goals for 2025. If you're struggling to set up your goals, I would really suggest reading Orna Ross's blog post, listening to the Pen to Paycheck podcast, and splitting up your goals into those 3 categories, because it's more than writing. And I think there's no shame in saying that you want this to be a job. Like, I want my writing to be my job. It brings me so much passion. There's nothing that I love more than sitting down to write my stories, and I want to be able to do it full time. But I also know that in order to do it full time, my goals have to be business goals. They cannot be simply writing books goals. I need to focus and consider my writing, my dog, as a small business. So sticking around, I'm going to be talking a lot more about my goals as I go through them, breaking them down into monthly goals. So like for February, this is what I'm going to be achieving. This is what I want to achieve, or rather, going to be was right. This is what I will be achieving in February, and this is how we're going to get there. I'm going to do 1 video a month, or 2 actually. 1 video to talk about what my goals are at the beginning of the month, and then a wrap-up video to talk about, did I get there? What did I do to achieve them? And then I'm also going to be posting writing vlogs. Let me just pull up my little Notion, and I'll tell you exactly what I have planned for the next few videos. And maybe it will inspire you to stick around. So this is my goals video. I'm going to do a writing vlog. I'm going to talk about commissioning art, how it works, what I liked about it, what I struggled with. I'm going to take you through my plotting process, which is kind of a beast, but I am a big plotter. So if you are wondering how to plot a book, stick around, because I'm going to have a video on that. And yeah, I've got a few other things planned. So I'm very excited about this channel. So stick around. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know what your goals are in the comments. Let me know what you think about the Maker Marketer Manager framework for setting goals. I would love to hear your thoughts. And you can follow me on my other socials. I've linked them below. And I will see you on Wednesday again. Peace out. Peace out.